Hello, everyone. This is the East Coast Economic Update for February the 12th, 2009. Just want to give you some economic updates as far as the East Coast is concerned. I have hit dead bottom as far as slow up. Now, it's normal for my business to slow down in February because we're between seasons, as I had said in my earlier video where I was at the store. It's normally slow. Let's hope it doesn't get any slower. Well, we've hit the peak, and it's kind of fluctuating between mediocre and really bad. In other news, a number of my wife and my friends who own yoga studios and spas, one yoga studio just sent an email. We hadn't heard from our friend for a very long time, and said that they are going to close and they are not going to honor the gift certificates that they were giving out during the holidays. And if anybody's ever done these little spa treatments or yoga classes, they sell you like a 10-pack and give you a discount. Well, apparently she's declaring bankruptcy, and I'm just going to adjust this real quick. Sorry about this, guys. And she's not going to honor her gift certificates. Why am I telling you this? Who cares about spas and yoga classes? Well, we are a service economy, unfortunately, and most of those services, such as yoga classes and the related items that go with it, yoga clothing and lotions and all this other stuff, are not going to be sold. So we're already seeing an acceleration here in New York of a major slowdown. Also some anecdotal information. I've had a few phone calls from people who special ordered shoes from me, and I had to call them up because they didn't call me back in 1 or 2 weeks, and they're still sitting on the hold shelf instead of selling them. I had 3 out of 10 phone calls I made, 3 phone calls, 1 to a teacher, 1 to a police officer, and 1 to a fireman. All 3 of them honestly told me that they didn't have cash and that they were saving up for a pair of sneakers. It's bad. Bloomberg, our mayor, who is also the founding majority partner of Bloomberg News, Michael Bloomberg, is trying to encourage old police officers to get off, to retire early and take a cut in pay. And they've already canceled 2 academies, 1 completely, for 2010. The entire, pretty much the first part of this year of 2010, we're going to get no new police. Now, I just want to relate that, and then we're going to go into some other stuff. When I was a boy, if any of you have ever seen the movie Serpico, I lived through that. I lived in a part of Brooklyn where I lived next door to a retired police officer who rented an apartment upstairs to other police officers. And as a boy, I would see, I'm going to give you this anecdotal story. As a boy, I used to see the police officer who lived above our neighbor would go on the bus, go to the police station, change into his uniform, drive his car, the police car, the patrol car, in front of his apartment, go upstairs, open the window, and then drink beer and watch sports on it, or listen to it on the radio. And he would leave the window open so he could hear the radio in case he was being called in. Because why was this? Because in 1974, when I was growing up, at the time, a police officer made about $50 less a week than somebody on welfare. People weren't joining the police force, and the ones that did had no other choice but to do illegal activities or just not do their job. This is coming again, I'm afraid. If you shrink the police force down, and in California, I understand they're releasing sex offenders and other quote-unquote non-violent criminals. What's worse than that is not having a police force to defend yourself. As more and more people are getting unemployed and are hitting the street, and many of those people have PhDs, MBAs, and what have you, this is going to become a real problem. because we're not going to have your, stereotypical robber or thief. You're going to have very sophisticated, intelligent people, and a lot of them former military. So this is something to think about. Now, as just a slight note, and then I'm going to go into my main issue, which is the bonds. Right now, turning my head, the stock market at exactly 11:30 today is at down 181 points. But the more interesting thing is the bond market, and I'll get to that in a second. I just want to do some house cleaning. A lot of you have been sending me emails since my original email asking me questions about Judaism. So what I'm going to do is, since I am working only 3 days a week at my own business, and basically spending most of my time in the house and running, I'm going to spend Fridays answering questions if I can on a video for a video. So please ask a reasonable question, and I'll be happy to answer it and give you my explanation on it. And I just want to precursor that statement with this. I'm a rabbi, but just like pastors in a Christian church, each rabbi has his own opinion. There's an old joke that when you have 3 rabbis in a room, you've got 9 opinions. Now, my views, whatever question you may ask, I will tell you what the predominant view is and if I'm part of that predominant view or not. So if you have any questions and then you ask somebody else who's a rabbi, you may get slightly a different answer or a radically different answer. So send them, don't comment on this video. Please send me a personal message off of my channel, and I'll be happy to deal with it. I'm going to try to deal with one question a Friday. So, and nothing radical. I'm just going to explain theology and where I stand, and also the difference between faith and doctrine. So if you have a question, shoot it out to me. It has to be coherent. Now, getting back to the bonds. For the last 6 weeks, remember my last video when we were talking about the Reinhardt event, I said that I was thinking that the market was going to collapse by June or July, except if Reinhardt's information is true, then it's going to have to be a perfect storm. Now, gold is rising, but rising at a normal rate that I figured. This is me speaking, not whatever, $20, $30 a shot. It would have to hit about 14 to 1500, 13 to 1500, I guess, before people would start rushing to it. Now, the more interesting thing is this. The 10-year and 2-year, is it the 10-year? Hold on for a second. I'm sorry, guys. I was looking at this earlier and I don't have enough coffee in me. The 10-year and 30-year. The 10-year and 30-year have been separated by about 75 cents, what they call 75 basis points. After we had this video about the Reinhardt event, it has dropped to 50 basis points, or 50 cents. That means it's getting to a critical level. Notice that the 30 is dropping and the 10-year is rising. They have to cross before the 2-year comes up behind it. So that's what you got to watch. If Reinhardt is correct, we're going to get very close to that by Friday. That may be the event. It has to happen for the markets to collapse, because once the 10-year surpasses the 30-year, that means our money becomes worthless. Now, right now, excuse me while I reach my phone, which has, right now the dollar index is at 86 cents. It's actually going up because most people are diving into the dollar or trying to convert their monies into dollars. But this is going to stop very shortly because the gold prices are rising. So watch very carefully. It's those two. If you see suddenly the gold shoot up, but it's not going to. But if those two bond numbers get very close, then gold's going to react. So, let's stick together. I just want to, Ray Cheetah, I want to shout out to you. You had on your favorites a no knead bread. I'm going to try it because bread and milk and everything else is shot up by 15% here in New York City. So just to close with that thought, Mark, one other issue I wanted to point out to you. I think it's the third or the fourth horseman of the apocalypse says that a pound of wheat will equal a day's wage, but oil and wine will stay cheap. Well, I'm starting to think that is in reference to gasoline and wine, because wine prices are dropping like a rock, but bread is getting very expensive. So just to throw that out at you. So send me your videos. I will do a religious video, a religious-esque video, and ask the rabbi video starting this Friday. So send me a definite questions. Make them reasonable. All right. Peace.